Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. Today I'm doing a monster, alien, demon romance recommendation video, and I honestly am so excited. If you somehow are new here and found this is one of my favorite like tropey like goodness situations. I adore my weird monster romances, as we're gonna just vaguely call them all, because they're all kind of monsters in some way. Anyways, I think this is always just a fun thing to do and change up my reading when I read these. I'm gonna recommend them in order-ish of like, I think I have like 3 kind of beginner ones, 3 middle of the road ones, and 3 a little more ones, but also not, like they're just very different. Like they're kind of like full force into the monsterness. Kind of. Like, it won't quite be 3 and 3 and 3, because one of them is like borderline on both lines. But if you have been wanting to try monster romance, if you love size difference, if you like having to figure each other out and different culture stuff like that, monster romances are it. They are the jam, they are the thing. I love them. So, first things first, I'm gonna kick it off with one that I buddy read with a bunch of people that I adore, and that's called I Married a Lizard Man by Regina Abel. I liked this book a lot. I give this 4 stars. This follows a woman who signs up for a mating agency group, and she ends up going to a planet with lizard people. There is some weird colonization stuff in here that feels not perfectly executed, which is most of the criticism I've seen of this book, and I don't disagree with it. But I do think as a beginner romance, for like beginner monster romance, it's a really solid option, because you kind of don't remember that he's a lizard until it comes time for like them to do things together, and like he has the like the shape of watery thing, which is this is what I imagine, and then yeah, okay, so I'm an adult, it's fine. Anyways, you don't really remember all that before that, but we have like them miscommunicating because they don't understand each other's culture and how to be together and like the differences, but they slowly overcome that hurdle, and it's really, really cute. Very sweet romance overall, and just pretty tame, truly, besides the reason that she had to like go off to the mating agency. The next 2, I have to read the 3rd one of the series still, but the next 2 I also think are really great options, because they're kind of like, I'm gonna tell you the plot of them and you're gonna be like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, it absolutely is. But also, it works. So these are Chase Verity's In Love with a Demon series. First we have Deal with the Demon, where we have a single mom and she's got 2 older children, and she needs someone to watch her kids so she can take this daytime hours job and stop working nights and earn more money. Well, she like scans a QR code and agrees to a contract without reading it. And lo and behold, our demon appears, and he wears an apron and makes cinnamon rolls and takes care of her kids for her. And it's this like slow build-ish romance. I mean, these are very short, but it's a slow build romance between them. And it also features just like a really cute single mom romance situation. Like the kids are so precious, and they're just the right amount. I actually really liked the kids in this book, but it's just perfect. Chase Verity like kills it with this, because the next one, The Demon Next Door, is also a single mom with a kid. And the demon moves in next door and has a son, and he's like trying to figure out how to be human and getting bad advice. So she's like, why is this child out here in like shorts in the snow, and like is doing things to help, and befriends the demon, and lo and behold, they hook up, and it is hot. Great sexy times in my opinion in both these books, but also it is funny, and like that laugh out loud kind of funny. Like I giggled multiple times during this book. Next, we have In the Bedroom of Medusa by Megan Cubed. Now this is a sapphic romance, and I really liked it when I read it last year. It was perfect for me. It is a slow build romance. I do think there's not quite enough plot in this, I'm gonna tell you that right now. But the overall romance and sexy times in this book were perfect for me, and I loved it. So this follows a woman who works as a sex worker, and has appointments, and Medusa has an appointment with her, and then it gets her to come live in her house, and it just kind of follows them slowly falling in love and her figuring out she's Medusa, and it just was perfect. Like it was just kind of exactly what I wanted and exactly what I needed, you know? Like it just worked really well. It's not a lot, it's like 90 pages, so you can read this, enjoy it, but also not be like committed to a long book. All right, now we're getting into our slightly more bonkers. This one is more horror erotica than romance, but there is an HEA at the end, so I think it counts as a romance. This one is about a girl named Naomi who is trying to pay for nursing school, and she gets a career as a night nurse, so basically at a house with this old lady who's like in hospice. And it turns out that there are demons in the house that try to have sex with her at night because of something underneath the house. I don't want to give too much away because, again, another shorty, but a goodie. And this one follows her kind of digging it a little deeper, and honestly has like one of the best reactions to finding it out, because she's like, what on earth? Like, I feel like a lot of times we get characters who are just like, yeah, sure, whatevs. But she was kind of like, you sure about this? Like, is this real? And I really related to that because I don't feel like we see that enough in the monster romance world. So yeah, this is like, we're moving into the slightly more bonkers part of the list now. Next we have Laughlich, which is another one I wrecked in a video where I read a bunch of, I still need to finish the rest of those, but I read a bunch of these submissions to a monster anthology that was coming out and that got canceled. So this one is following our necromancer, Lord the Lich, and Lily, who is his secretary. She loves her job. She gets a lot of questions about her boss. And they have like this weird tension happening between the two of them, you know, and occasionally we'll get things like that he needs for spells from her. And then, you know, he has three. He's got three down there. 3. So it's a good time, you know, it's a good time. And this is one of those ones in which I giggled. I enjoyed it because it was just so goofy and off the wall. I just think it's a great one to pick up if you just want something to make you laugh, and it has a good time in it with 3. All right, next we have a new release, which is The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. I got an early copy of this. I am a member of her Patreon, which is like bomb because I get early copies of everything. This follows Soul and Briar Rose, who is on the run. Briar Rose is running from a really bad situation at home. I do want to give a quick content note on this one, having domestic violence in it, not from our hero, but it is done towards our heroine, and we get like snippets of it, but not like full moments. So she makes a deal with the demon, and that deal leads her to Soul. She ends up married to him for 7 years, and they're in his realm where time moves differently. And because of that, she's bound to the king, or to the Dragon King. And we follow their really sweet slow burn romance, but also there's this amazing moment of primal play in this book that I loved immensely. If I do a primal play rec video at some point, this book will be in it. It was so good, and he has 2. He's got 2 down there, and it was used really, really well, those 2, and the size difference was done really, really well and was really fun to read about, in my opinion. And I think that this is just one of those ones that I gave it 4 stars because I felt like I wanted more world building because it's under 200 pages, but I'm also still super duper excited for the next book in the series, and I'm hoping for a little more world building in that one because I'm really interested in the world, which I didn't expect coming out of a monster romance. Usually I could care less, but wanted the world in this one. Then we have one of my favorites. Sing Me to Sleep by Autumn Virtues is a magnificent monster romance. This follows a sleep paralysis demon and a girl named Penny who has just went through a very traumatic event in her life. I'm going to link to the trigger warnings down below because it is a big list and it won't all fit up here on the screen while I talk about it, but I do want to say you need to check those before you dive in. This one has a lot of things going on, and it's a lot. I'm saying it's a lot, and I generally am usually pretty okay, so it's a lot. Anyways, Sing Me to Sleep is one of my favorites that I have read. I absolutely adore this book. This one has our consensual non-consent happening. He is able to come to her at night when she is sleeping and give her pleasure. I will say also the sleep paralysis tends to be more towards the beginning of the book, but it kind of is the 2 of them slowly falling in love and having a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. And also getting revenge on some things that happened to her, and it was really, really enjoyable. This is just one of those ones that's so unique that I know it's not going to be for everyone. So like if it doesn't pique your interest, you shouldn't push it. But it's also like a really good time otherwise, in my opinion. So I I hope more of you pick it up because I honestly would love to see more people read this book. And it has really hot sex in it, but also, again, I think it had a really good plot development and story structure, and I really liked where the world was going. I'm very curious to read more in this series if they come out, because I want, again, more world building. Now for two by the same author that I love. I love this author so, so much, and I cannot recommend her enough. This is the Lillian Lark's Monstrous Matches series. So first up, we have Stalked by the Kraken, which is about a girl who is a matchmaker. That is her magic ability, and this man who is this ancient being and shifts into a kraken-like being. So it's kind of a shifter, kind of monster. It's a little bit of both. Again, I feel like there's a lot of crossover between shifter and monster stuff, and this one was so good. This had tentacle play, first of all. I do want to give that preface. If that is not for you, don't try it, but maybe you might like it. You might be surprised. I was surprised. So Rose is our heroine and Gideon is our hero, and Rose is just, she's trying to figure it out, and they're also trying to solve the mystery of what is going on, that the bathhouse isn't fully harvesting the same energy it used to, and Gideon is just like so gone for her that it is amazing. I love a hero who just like cannot handle the idea of not having this person, and going as far as he can to make it happen, and that is what he does, and it is spectacular. So if you are interested, that is definitely one I recommend. The other one is Deceived by the Gargoyles. This is an MMMF pairing. So this is a triad of gargoyles who are already all partners, the three of them. Each one is like a different kind of love interest, which I love. So we have like our stoic, quiet hero. We have our really like golden retriever-esque one, and then we also have our like you got your three different, like you got your variety heroes. We kind of got our little like bit of a playboy type, and this follows Grace, who works with a really like mundane magic, her family would call it. Her family is like prestigious witch family, of course, and she works with like papers and stuff and can like read feelings and things off paper, which I thought was really cool. And this book, honestly, for me, is possibly my favorite. And I loved the family element we already had with the three men that were already together. And then Elliot tries to bring Grace into their mix, and it's really, really cute how that all worked out. So yeah, he tries to bring Grace in and has to slowly introduce her to the fact that there's three of them. This has like a book lover's dream in it, I feel like they're present to her at one point is like, it's perfect for my book lovers. It is also just magnificent how they all come together. Like there's a scene that, I mean, for me melted my heart, where she's like laying on one of them and every night they like cuddle and read, and I was just like, this is precious. I love this. I love this so much. This also has knotting. So if you don't want to read Omegaverse, but you would like to try knotting, this is definitely one with that kink in there. And it's just a really good time. So I loved this one. I can't recommend it enough. I won't shut up about it. And everything I want to say about it is a spoiler, is the hard part. But anyways, we follow their romance, and it is just spectacular. Obviously, they go to the bathhouse and get matched, and then we have some reveals. It's pretty low angst. There's a little bit of angst. But yeah, overall, it just was a really good time, and we just see these three men all fall in love with her and her fall in love with them. Those are my monster romance racks. Let me know your favorite monster romance in the comments, especially because maybe I haven't read it, so then I'll pick it up. But I hope you found something new to check out here. So if you made it this far, leave me an octopus emoji. I will have links to all these books in that description box, as well as links to Be My Friend anywhere on the internet. And I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away.